Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. How are you guys doing today? I hope you guys are doing well. So today we'll be checking out this video from Matt Walsh, and it's titled Why This Viral OnlyFans Model Deserves Zero Sympathy. If you guys don't know what is going on, there's this OnlyFans model who came out to say that she slept with 100 men in one day, and as a result of this, she became emotional and broke down after everything. And this is why no one should sympathize with her, because she did whatever she did willingly. And you guys, if you're yet to subscribe to this channel, please consider subscribing. And without much ado, let's see what Matt Walsh has for us in this video.
Lily Phillips is a woman who recently went viral for the wrong reason, for one of the worst possible reasons a person could go viral. She is, I guess, an OnlyFans, what they would call an OnlyFans model, but really an OnlyFans prostitute. And she decided to have sex with 100 men in one night. Okay, 100 men in one night. And it was filmed, of course, and I guess made available on her OnlyFans page. Now, there are a bunch of videos now circulating of Lily Phillips after the fact, talking about the experience of, having sex with 100 men. And in the videos, and I don't have any of them to play right now, but you can find them on, on X and all that. In the videos, she looks like someone who just had sex with 100 men. Okay, she looks terrible. She looks gross and sad and depressed and in pain and used up, just exactly how you would imagine somebody might look after an experience like that. And she's talking about it, and she's saying that it was a pretty horrible experience. What do you know? It wasn't very enjoyable. And yet, by the way, she's planning to do it again. Okay, in fact, her next goal is to have sex with 1,000 guys in a day.
She won't survive it.
Just physically, in terms of the time constraints, I don't even know how that is. Like, that would seem to defy the laws of physics.
That's not possible.
That's her plan. So she's not stopping. She's going to continue doing it. And there's been a lot of discussion about this, and much of the discussion has been really on both sides of the political divide. Much of the discussion has been extremely sympathetic to Lily Phillips, as if she's the victim of this thing that she did and plans to do again. Not only that, but much of the commentary on social media and in the media blames the men who participated in this more than Lily Phillips herself. They're the villains here, is what we're being told. So, for example, just one example of many. Here's The Spectator. Here's an article that they just published. Headline: Shame on the men exploiting Lily Phillips.
Really?
Not shame on Lily Phillips, shame on the men. So there's been a lot of that. And this is the way it goes now. Feminists demand that we celebrate a woman's sexual freedom, but then when a woman makes a really bad choice with her sexual freedom, suddenly she's a damsel in distress and it's everyone's fault but her own. That's the game. It's always been the game with feminists. They want freedom without accountability. That has always been the problem. Again, one problem of many, but there's always been one of the central problems with feminism from the beginning is you want all the freedom, all the choice, you want all that, empowered, everything. The accountability part is the part where it always breaks down. You will not accept accountability, and it doesn't work that way. You cannot have one but not the other. Mm-hmm. Okay, responsibility is a dimension of freedom. You can't sever them. It's like saying, it's like if you have a quarter in your pocket and you say that it's your quarter, you own it, but you own just the head side, not the tails. Oh, the tail side of the quarter is not yours, just the head. You can't have it. You cannot have one side of the coin but not the other. You just can't. So it's nonsense. And now I've heard that, Lily is harming herself. This is a self-destructive thing that she's doing. It's self-harm. And it's no different from if she was, cutting herself, mutilating herself in some way. It's like that. And so she's a victim. Well, now you're right. It is harmful. It is self-destructive. It is in many ways sort of self-mutilating. Yes, but the men are also harming themselves. Having sex with a woman when you are, number 62 in line out of 100 or whatever, that's a lot of things. That is disgusting. That is revolting. That is nauseating. That is awful. That is demeaning. That is emasculating. That is all the bad things. It's also harmful to the men. They are putting themselves at severe risk, severe. For physical reasons, big one being the diseases that you are subjecting yourself to, almost certainly. Also harming yourself mentally and emotionally. So, if she is a victim, why aren't they? In fact, if she's being exploited, why aren't they being exploited? She's the one profiting. She's the one selling the video. These men are just marks. They're pawns. You could say, oh, well, no healthy woman with a right mind would do something like this. So she's a victim. No healthy man in his right mind would be a part of this. I mean, to volunteer to be a part of this is on either side means that there's something really wrong with you.
Exactly. That's true. I agree.
And yet,
wow, you guys, what are your thoughts on this video? I've been seeing a lot of people talk about this on the internet, although I haven't watched her video yet. But after this particular one, I'm definitely going to watch her video to see what Lily has to say. And when you think you have seen or heard everything, then someone comes out to do something that will make your jaw drop to the floor. This is unhinged as it can get. I don't even know how to process this. The fact that she is not even feeling bad about what she did, but she wants to meet another target of sleeping with 1,000 men is totally mind-boggling. I don't know what has come over her. And I hope that after all of this virality, she's going to finally come to her senses and retrace her step, because this is going to cause more harm than good to her. Well, let me know what you guys think about this video in the comment section down below, and let's continue watching, you guys.
It only goes one way. The accountability only goes one way. It only ever goes one way. It's like when a man has sex with a drunk woman and is accused of rape. Drunk sex is non-consensual sex, they say. Except that he was also drunk. So if he raped her, then didn't she rape him? Aren't they raping each other by that logic? If they're both drunk? If they're both inebriated? Didn't she take advantage of him also? But you never hear that, ever. You never, ever hear that. You never hear of a woman getting accused of, much less charged with, rape for having sex with a drunk man. Never hear it. It only goes one way. Accountability only goes one way, ever, on this sort of thing. Now, the only way, this is the important point, okay? Because we can lament the double standards. I mean, the double standards are very obvious here. You can't. I mean, it's like getting smacked in the face with a 2x4. Like the account. That's how obvious it is. You can't miss it. But let me try to make sense of it. The only way to make sense of this double standard, where two people, man and woman, can willfully engage in a certain act. An act that, in this case with Lily Phillips, not only are she willfully engaged, she is initiating it, inviting the men, advertising it, selling it, making money on it. The only way to look at that and say, oh, the man is exploiting her, not the other way around, the only way to do it is to say that the man is the leader, that the man is in charge, that the man is basically the captain of the ship. And so he gets the blame when the ship goes down, even if a dozen other people are also to blame. Even if, in fact, the captain didn't screw up, even if the captain did everything right, still, he gets the blame. And in the old days, he goes down with the ship, even if it wasn't his fault, right? Right? The Titanic hits the iceberg. The captain was asleep. He had somebody else in charge of that. It's not his fault. He's got to go down with the ship. That's the burden of leadership. The burden of leadership is responsibility. And you got, buck stops with me, right? And you got to take blame for stuff that you didn't do. So the only way to look at Lily Phillips and condemn the men and not her is to say that the men are supposed to be leaders and the leaders take the blame. That's the only way. Which means you have to abandon feminism entirely. You cannot be a feminist and say that Lily Phillips is being exploited. You can't. The only way to say it is to say that the men are more responsible because they're supposed to be leaders.
Really?
So any person, any feminist who looks at this as, oh, well, she's the victim, you have abandoned feminism. It's done. You're out. You are out. What you are saying, this is as dramatic a statement as you could possibly make, reinforcing the most traditionalist idea of so-called gender norms imaginable, okay? You are saying the men are in charge, the men are leaders, they should know better, they should be guiding her, and they're not. That's what you're saying. The problem is that most of the people involved in this discourse are not willing to admit that.
That's true.
They want to have it both ways, always. They want to have the cake and eat it too. But even then, like let's say, because there are, like I said, there are some people on the right who are also, looking at this and say, oh, she's a victim, the poor woman. And many of them, I'm sure, are listening to this, and they'll say, yeah, you know what? I do think men are leaders. I'm not ashamed of that. And so, yeah, I blame them. Okay? And I'll just say, those people are the only ones I can even take seriously in this conversation. The feminists, I can't take you seriously because your whole, it doesn't make any sense. It's completely incoherent. 1 minute you want to get rid of the gender norms. Men and women are the same. Men are not leaders. Women are the boss babes. They're in charge. In fact, women are more competent, smarter. And then the next minute, oh, she's a damsel in distress. That doesn't make any sense. You're not serious. You're not serious people. I can't listen to you. The only people I can even take seriously in a conversation like this are the very traditionalist conservatives. At least then you have a case because you're being consistent. And you always say, yeah, I think men should be leaders in society. They should be leaders in the home. They should be leaders in relationships. And okay, but even in that case, you still cannot entirely absolve the woman like she has no free will, like she has no agency. Because when you do that, now you are now you're drifting past just sort of a traditional notion of gender norms. You're drifting past that, and you're drifting into the demonization of men and the total infantilization of women. You're treating women like infants or robots who have no free will and no ability to make any decisions for themselves. And you're treating men, you're unduly demonizing men in that case. If you are basically totally absolving the women, like you can't blame them at all. You cannot condemn their behavior at all, which is some of what I'm hearing. Because in reality, okay, Lily Phillips is an adult person making a choice. And yes, we should condemn her behavior. It's disgusting, terrible behavior. And yes, it is also exploitation on her part, too. She is also exploiting these men in a very real sense. True. Just having them line up so that she can make this disgusting video. So my take on it is I condemn the behavior of everybody involved. Okay, that's my very simple way of looking at this. I condemn the behavior of everybody involved. I don't think there are any victims here. Everybody is choosing to be a part of this. It's disgusting. And it's disgusting, evil behavior by everybody, and we should condemn it in no uncertain terms. It is shameful, gross, and we should just condemn the behavior of everybody involved. Nobody's being forced into it. Everybody does have free will.
You guys, I totally agree with Matt Walsh on this. Nobody is a baby. They are all adults and they went in willingly. No one was forced, and I don't know why people are sympathizing with Lily, because what she did is totally gross. Imagine filming herself sleeping with 100 men and then going on to sell the tape on her OnlyFans page. That is totally ridiculous. I don't even know what to say anymore. But let me know what you guys think about this video in the comment section down below. And I will see you all in my next video. Bye, guys.